What up? How's it going? So Jimmy has some clients now, and he got him through the whole slipping Jimmy tactics from his past. I like that we got to see his past, and we see how intricate he can get with what he does. It's not just some simple slip and falls, like, right? He was telling the truth. He was a king of the scammers. Yeah, I want to see now that he has some more guys, and Nacho still pissed off. I want to see where this goes now. Yeah, I am enjoying this, right? Because this plays almost like a comedy. Like I feel like last episode I laughed a lot, and I like that, right? Hey, let's go ahead and get this next episode started. Episode 5, Better Call Saul. That man took my paper. She called the police about the paper. Man, he left 5. Motherfucker only take a newspaper and leave me $5. I'm like, he really needed it.
Sir, we'd like to talk with you for a minute. Could you open the door, please?
I'd prefer not to, officers. I have a condition. I can't go outside or be exposed to what's out there. I didn't steal it. I've left $5. The cover price is 50 cents.
Did your neighbor consent to sell you her paper?
Officer, let's talk about something called probable cause. As I'm sure you know, in the state of New Mexico, there is a 2-part test to determine whether police officers have an objectively reasonable basis.
Why the fuck would you go through all that trouble for a motherfucker who took a newspaper? I don't give a fuck what the law is. Use your goddamn mind.
A whole lot of camp stove fuel.
Oh,
Guy sure as shit
no.
sounds like a tweaker.
You see what he did to the breaker box?
Is he coming
Even
out
if
or are we
he
going in?
was, all he did was take a newspaper.
No phones, no walkie-talkies, no flashlights. Definitely no tasers. I can't emphasize that enough. Deal?
Inside the first, you ain't afraid to put yourself out there. And inside the second, you believe in the real America. Freedom, self-sufficiency. I do. I really do.
Oh, here we go, this horse shit.
When I see a man like you driving that foreign shitbox of a car,
Well, see, actually,
it's a sign a good man can't get ahead today. Taxes, OSHA requirements, the INS poking their big fat nose into every mother-loving hire. It's damned oppressive.
it's tragic.
Are you ready to clear your calendar?
Ricky, I'm all ears.
I want to secede from the United States.
We could end up in the Supreme Court. I'm talking thousands of man-hours. I mean, years of effort.
Get that money from him.
Are you ready for that? Let's talk turkey. What's your rate?
$450 an hour.
The hell with hourly. I want you on retainer. How about 1 million even? 500 up front and 500 when we're done.
Hey, shout out to him, man.
Would you like that in cash?
This seems like a fucking dream.
Tax-free and backed by the full faith and credit of the sovereign Sandia Republic.
Yo, fuck him, man. Hurry up and leave that place. You know why he really is a fucking asshole? He made sure that it looked exactly like our currency.
Mr. McGill, hi. Thanks so much for coming. Roland J. Cox. Roland.
Hey, Roland. Great to meet you. You can call me Jimmy.
But before I show you my invention, would you mind signing a non-disclosure agreement?
You got it.
It's my idea of a lifetime. If Fisher Price or Play School ever got their hands on this.
No worries.
You ready?
Oh, yeah, that's the way.
Yep. My original look was correct.
Gosh, you're big. You're so big.
This has got to stop.
My goodness.
This has got to
Look at
stop.
you.
No.
Fill me up, Chandler. Put it in me. Give it to me, Chandler. I want it all. Ah.
I created this for children. Children, understand?
Well, hey, Viagra was originally invented to treat hypertension. Well, look how that turned out.
You're completely disgusting, you know that?
Hey, buddy, you're the one with the sex toilet.
Get off my property!
Hey, you know what? I hope you do make a fortune, because Chandler's gonna need it to help pay for his therapy.
Yeah, he is.
Reverend Lawrence, his grandson, is going to get the lute-playing angel, because he was in the choir.
Very sharp, Mr. McGill. And here I thought all lawyers were idiots. If I were 40 years younger, I'd have you buy me a pina colada.
Well, if you want me to draw up a DNR, I'll bring a blender and some pineapple. Now, my fee is $140.
140.
I'll gladly accept 70 today and 70 when I come back with the completed documents.
20, 40.
Okay.
Maybe you've got a future in elder law.
You think I can handle all that glamour?
No, I'm serious. I've thought about getting into elder law myself. It's awful what people have to deal with. Insurance companies, my scumbag cousin stealing her savings and her pain meds. What's the plan here?
Sir, I need you to get down from there.
What the hell kind of torture chamber you running here? He's allergic to electricity.
You heard the
God, get down now.
All these lights and machines, you might as well throw them into a microwave.
Come on down
no,
now.
don't touch me.
He is this patient's brother. Please, listen to him.
Jimmy, in my opinion, Charles should be committed for 30 days of psychiatric observation. As a family member, you can submit a petition for him to be evaluated. There's an excellent facility in Las Cruces. He can be there tomorrow. Can you tell me a little more about your situation?
It's not a situation, it's a condition. Electromagnetic hypersensitivity. For reasons unknown, my nervous system has become sensitized to certain frequencies of electromagnetic radiation.
When did you first experience these symptoms?
Must have been,
You left the office 18 months ago.
well, in that case, must have been almost 2 years. Anyone who's spent more than a few minutes with me knows that this isn't some kind of delusion. Wouldn't you agree, Kim?
Of course she does.
With all due respect, psychiatry doesn't have the answers.
I'd very much like to try.
Section 43, 111, Part E3. The proposed commitment is consistent with the treatment needs of the client and with the least drastic means principle. Do you think subjecting me to this kind of pain for a month is the least drastic means?
You might as well spend a month in a wood chipper.
How do you meet the needs of daily life? What do you do for light? How do you prepare food?
I use white gas lanterns. For cooking, I have a camp stove. I have a large cooler that I keep filled with ice. It's not ideal, but I make do. Jimmy? I want to go home.
If you testify in a custodial hearing, he can get the help he needs. That's in your power.
To be committed involuntarily, he has to be a danger to himself or
And
others.
he is. Coleman lanterns indoors, a camp stove.
That's a great point.
You have the power to help your brother, truly help him. Ignoring this won't make it go away.
Untie him. I'm getting him out of here.
Jimmy, I want you to know that I've talked to the DA, and he absolutely will not sign off on any commitment papers.
Of course you don't want Chuck committed.
No, I don't. Why would I?
Because if Chuck were committed, then I become his legal guardian and I cash him out of HHM.
We're talking about the well-being of a man whom we all love very much. There's many factors at play. Spite doesn't have to be one of them.
You know what, Howard? I was on the fence till you showed up, but thanks for helping me decide. Wave bye-bye to your cash cow, because it's leaving the pasture. I'm committing him.
Jimmy, wait a second. Listen, I agree that Chuck needs help, and maybe it's the right thing to do, but you can't do it like this.
I just want to see that son of a bitch sweat. You want to talk about this?
There's nothing to talk about.
You took the paper, you saw this, you got sick. Chuck, I think you got sick because you saw this story. Whenever you think I've done something wrong, something questionable, you get worse. You think this is the return of Slippin' Jimmy, but it's not.
All right.
But you think the billboard thing was unethical. It was promotion. It was advertising. That's all.
Which wasn't even allowed until 5 Supreme Court justices went completely bonkers in Bates versus State Bar of Arizona.
Aha!
But in any event, it's legal.
I'm kind of starting to specialize in elder law. Seniors need someone on their side, so you're looking at them.
Well, that sounds promising.
I'm a good lawyer. I just needed some razzmatazz, to get the ball rolling, some showmanship. That's all it was. It's done now. It's over. I'm on the up and up, okay? I will be good. Slippin' Jimmy, he's back in Cicero, dead and buried.
Okay.
We'll see. Where you going?
Somebody's gonna make that coffee.
I know everybody in this courtroom has strong feelings about
Matlock.
Nicholas Barron's past, but I submit.
Single-breasted?
In order to become an elder law, that's part of his whole get up. I think that's dope that he would do that. Man, come in there dressed like Matlock. They be like, I know them Jellos is good with the quarter waters. Let's go. Who knows if it'll work, but that's a dope idea.
Hello there, James McGill, attorney at law. How are you this fine morning?
I'm just fine, and how about you?
Very good. Play fair. No betting. Oh, wait a second. Is that Veronica Lake? Give me a hug, beautiful. Yes, you look great today. All right, no cheating, no hiding the tablet. Oh, what do we have here? Hey, there he is, the man in the booth. John Wilkes Booth, Booth Tarkington. What you reading there? The complete annotated book of rules for parking validation?
No. The rules for parking validation are actually pretty simple. Most people get it on the first try.
You can have this as well. I'm doing the elder law now. Need a will? Call McGill. So, give me a call if you happen to know any elders.
He didn't have a heart to call him elderly. That's why he used to take wow, I just edited the videos today. Pinkman. Like, I know he worked in Philly, but I'm assuming he followed her out there.
Don't hesitate. I can't sleep nights.
Oh, why don't you take some hot milk?
I guess I must be in love because I started.
Oh no, what's happening? Oh yeah, this is a different mic at this time. My man got a bat. He ain't got that thing.
A long way from home, aren't you?
You and me both.
Ooh. First, let me start by saying don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure to hit the notification bell. Shout out to all the new viewers. Shout out to all the subscribers. And I have a Patreon with full-length early reactions to things like this. If you'd like to, check it out. I really like this episode. And just in the intro, I was talking about how this is a straight-up comedy to me, even more than a drama at this point. And that's how this episode was, right? Most of the dramatic part of it deals with his brother. And yeah, but everything else involved in Jimmy's life, straight comedy, starting from the beginning. So I'm like, okay, how much is he going to gain from what he pulled with the billboard? And it seems like early on, you know, shit is going to be a certain way. He goes to that ranch, okay? And I'm like, oh no, what's this shit gonna be like? Okay, I'm saying that, but then the guy says what he says. I'm like, oh shit, he about to give him some, woo. How this gonna play out? He gives him the money on a tray, and I'm like, he had it in the safe where all the guns at. You see all these, he goes trophy hunting. So I'm thinking, yo, he got paper. See the money, and he slides. He slides the band to the side. When I saw his face, I couldn't fucking take it. Like, if I could, I'd have stood up and walked out the fucking room. Because that was way, like, sir, this doesn't mean a fucking thing to me or anyone else in the world. Take this shit and burn it. Like, but it was funny, and I should have known better, right? This is a person who is on that sovereign citizen horseshit, and he really thinks that something's going to come of this. And I'm thinking, hey, work with him. Get him for all the money you can. What do you do when he's using his own money, right? That was hilarious. Then he's like, okay, what the fuck? So then he goes to the next guy. And I'm like, this guy looks weird. Like I said, he looks like a Mad TV character. He has him sign an NDA. I'm like, okay, let's see what this is. He pulls it off. Once again, as soon as I see it, I'm like, oh, this is some horse shit. But then I get roped in again. I'm listening to the idea like a toilet, but he helps your kid along. And then the way he said he helps the kid along, I'm like, oh no. And it was downhill from there. It was all sorts of innuendo. It was like some crazy shit. I'm like, this is way too much. And the guy had the nerve to be offended by him. He's right. Chandler's going to need some therapy. Okay. Then he goes to the last lady. And that one was funny, but she actually paid. Because she took what she was talking about serious, them little dolls. Now, she may not have that much money, but she going to spend money on divvying these dolls up. Then we get to the point where he talks to his friend from the firm. And I'm like, oh, elder law. Interesting. Okay, so it's just, how's that going to go? So when I see him watching Matlock, I saw him sketching something. I did not realize he was going to be sketching what he was wearing and taking notes so he could dress like him. So it does something in their mind when he's with the elderly where they're like, oh, okay. That's fucking hilarious. And for him to pull the jellos, I'm like, who knows if that's going to work, but he's giving it a shot. Like, for real. Now, where the elder law thing led to, that's where it's interesting. Because all that leads to this. My man, he's making some sort of money, and he had that money from before. And so now he had his parking secured, but he's talking to Mike. And Mike was already a little bit more receptive to him because of what happened prior, right? Remember how he was like, I'm not pressing nothing on him, man. Also, he ends up helping him. He gives Mike the card. And I'm like, oh, Mike is elderly. Right? Like, is that how they're going to come together? That's what I'm thinking, just that. But nah, they did it in a dope way. So whatever trouble he's in with Philly, I'm assuming Saul is going to help him because that's the card he has at this moment. And it doesn't seem like he's been dealing with anybody else. He's just been going to work, coming home. And I believe that was his daughter. And I would think, obviously he left Philly to get away from where he was at. Like, he left and came to Albuquerque to get away from Philly, okay? But it also seems that he followed her there. Like, he came there for a purpose. He saw her, she looked, and then she just drove off. The way that guy said, he said, you're a long way from home. And Mike Mike says that. And then that guy, who's been in a ton of shit. Yo, that guy, I've seen him in just as much shit as I've seen the guy who plays Chuck. The guy, the black cop who was speaking to Mike at the end, he's been in, I'm talking about since I was born. He's been in sitcoms and movies, and now I want to see where that goes. And if that's how Jimmy and Mike, come together, will that be the reason? Because there was a bunch of cops out there, so shit's real for Mike. Now let's get into about Chuck. So, of course I understand, in order for the story to move forward, that thing with the cops had to happen, right? Of course I understand that. But just that scene, my visceral reaction was, man, come on, dog. Over a fucking newspaper, this shit is going to escalate. Right? You know what I mean? And I could see if it was some shit, for one, let's say he does it multiple times. Right? 2, let's say he caused some sort of damage. 3, let's say he was doing it and mocking her and it was some sort of confrontation. Let's say he posed some sort of threat. None of that happened. And it escalated all the way to the point where they're looking in his house. They see something in the house that they see as a danger. And now they get to kick in his door. And it's like, I wish Jimmy would have, you know what I mean, put in that lawyer work, because the fuck? At the least, they would have got some sort of some money out of that situation. But that was my visceral reaction on that. Obviously, in the long run, that scene matters for what goes forward. In the long run, that don't matter. So don't worry about me talking about that. Thing with Chuck, we all knew it's not. We knew that it was a mental thing. Now, what I do wonder, is it actually based off of his brother? Jimmy points out to Chuck, every time basically, I'm the reason I raise your blood pressure. And it manifests as this that's going on with you. I wonder if that's really the case. I did like that hospital scene where the doctor, she turned it on just so she can ensure they understood this is his mind. She got to use some sort of science right here. And so my man is talking. He had no idea that electricity had turned on. And they're going to get deeper into that. But they brought up something that I don't know how I didn't think about this. I don't think I made even an offhand comment or anything like this. I don't think it ever even crossed my mind. Yo, all the stuff he's using is so dangerous. Right? He's using them old irons. Okay, cool. That's one thing. But he's using lanterns that use fuel. He's using stoves that use fuel. So he has a ton of fuel stored up. And that's why when the cops saw that, it escalated. Once it gets to that point, I understand. But it should have never got to that point. That's my only thing. But so all that fuel, that makes sense. And it makes sense that they be like, hey, man, you got to deal with them. Now, here's the interesting play. His partner, Chuck's partner, tries to act like, nah, I really have love and care in my heart for him. I told the DA don't sign off on it. I got them not to. For Jimmy to play it like, I'm going to go commit him, right? You only care about one thing. She goes, stop. Now, she's being a good worker, his friend, because she knows this could go bad. They'll lose that whole practice if he gets the legal care of him and he can cash out. But he's like, man, I just wanted to make him sweat. I just wanted to see we know what he's really about in this situation. But I'm taking my brother home. And I was like, damn. I really want to see where this goes, because I wasn't expecting the storyline. Like all the other stuff that I've witnessed in this, I could have expected that. What's going on with his brother? I don't understand where it's going, and the way it's playing out, I didn't expect it. And it's interesting that they chose something like this, because I've never seen a phobia like this before in my life. And the fact that he was a big time lawyer, and she said 18 months ago is when he left the practice. He said, so 2 years he was feeling that way. I really wonder, are they going to show us what really was that thing that set it off? Or if that's just going to be, up in the air, which either way I'd be fine with, as long as it's, done well. Hey, another dope episode. Hilarious to me. That first part was just, I'm like, if the whole episode was just him going to do some counseling, but even still, the Matlock suit, that's fucking hilarious. He's giving it a try, man. He's trying to find his way, and I like that. And also, his relationship with his friend from the law firm, that's interesting to me, because they don't go together. I don't think they was together before this. I think they was just straight up friends, but you saw a little glimmer that there must be, it could go in that direction maybe. I don't know. But hey, man, another dope episode. Next episode.